Welcome to the Forensic Financialist, where we simplify business and leadership challenges and choose the road that leads to wisdom and excellence. We discuss tough issues facing business and figure out easy-to-implement solutions. Using the rearview mirror approach, we look in the rear view to move towards a brighter future. Here's your host, Jeff Newkirk.
Welcome to the Forensic Financialist, where we aim to improve your business and help you grow both personally and professionally. I'm your host, Jeff Newkirk. Well, in today's episode, we are going to talk about the 12 for 21, Part 2. You may recall in the previous episode, I introduced the first 6 essential tasks that I think any business owner, entrepreneur, organizational leader need to address in order to plan for a successful 2021. Now, 2020 has been you can't even really put it into words, right? It's been a crazy year, a horrible year. It's been one with all kinds of ups and downs. But I want to say that if we've made it this far, right? I mean, we're getting ready for 2021. So we have cause to celebrate. I mean, yes, it's been a year for the books, but 2021 is going to be awesome. But we have to make it awesome. It's not going to happen automatically. We have to plan for it. That's why I want to lay out these, what I call the 12 for 21. These are 12 essential tasks that we need to really address in order to plan for 2021. So in the previous episode, I talked about the first 6, and I'm just going to quickly review them now. Number 1, conduct a financial review. So you got to know your numbers. Number 2, dissect your gross revenues. You got to know what went into your gross revenues. How many units did you sell? How many types of what service did you sell? Were the prices right? You got to know how you achieved the gross revenue levels that you did. Number 3, touch base with your inner circle. I talked about your own board of directors, your own trusted advisors. You got to touch base with those folks in order to really plan for next year. Make sure that you haven't missed out on anything. And remember, your inner circle, these are people that you trust without hesitation. They're not, fly-by-the-night friends. They are people that are going to tell you information that you may not want to hear, but they're there to support and guide you to the next step, next level. Prepare for the next year. Number 4, conduct an inventory. I don't care if you're a manufacturing business or service business. You need to know what inventory you have. And I talked about if you were a restaurant, you're probably doing inventory every day. But if you're a service business, like I have a consulting business, so I don't need to do an inventory every day. But I'll do an inventory once a year so I know how many supplies I have in order to provide my services for the next year, whether that's binders or folders or books or whatever. So I know what I have in my inventory. Number 5, develop and finalize your plans for 2021. And those plans need to be consistent and align with your mission, your vision, and your core values. Now remember, we spent 2 episodes talking about core values. Those are super important, those non-negotiables. So all of your plans, goals, strategies that you have for 2021, they need to align with those core values. And number 6, review your most significant resources. And what do I mean by that? Well, labor. If you employ people, you need to make sure that you have the right amount of people lined up for the next year to deliver the service or manufacture the product. Supplies. Do you have all your vendors lined up for the next year? And I talked about negotiating pricing. So the vendors, they're probably hurting just like you. And they probably will be willing to negotiate some good, favorable payment terms for you. But you got to ask. Okay, that was last episode. Quick recap. Now let's dive into the next 6 of the 12 for 21. Number 7, review your employee plan. Now, if you don't have any employees, that's okay, but you still need to know what is included in an employee plan. And I think the major components include job descriptions. So if you're going to employ anybody, they need to know what their responsibilities are. If you employ many people, you have many supervisors, you need to know, or the employees need to know, who are they going to report to? Who are they going to meet with on a weekly basis or bi-weekly? Who's going to give them the instructions or guide them in their job? They need to know who that is. And they need to know their primary responsibilities associated with their job. Don't leave anybody in the dark. Don't leave them guessing. You can't hire somebody and just say, well, here's your computer. Go forth and succeed. It's not going to happen. They are not going to be successful because they're not going to know what to do. Each employee needs to have a very specific set of responsibilities and some goals and objectives associated with their position. It's only fair to them, and it'll be a win-win. They'll be productive, and you will realize the benefits of their productivity. What else is in an employee plan? Well, you have to make sure your compensation, what you're paying them, is the right amount. So you don't want to be too low on the pay scale. You're never going to hire quality employees if you're paying too little. And on the other hand, you probably don't want to be super high on the pay scale, unless you have such a high quality service or product that you can, justify bringing on very expensive employees. So I've always said you get what you pay for. You've heard that before. But with employees, hiring quality employees and paying them a little bit more, I'm not opposed to it at all. If they're worth it, pay them what they deserve. Because as the business owner or leader of your organization, you will benefit from that quality employee. And chances are, if you treat them well, they'll be loyal. I mean, that's something that's really missing these days. Loyalty on both sides, from the employer and the employee. Let's try to change that, okay? I mean, it could be a whole lot better if there was some trust. I mean, that's a whole nother episode, I know, but let's make sure they at least start with the compensation range that's appropriate for the position within the market and within the company. Now, the other thing I want to mention that is a major component in an employee plan, they need to know, they being the employees, your employees, they need to know how they're performing. Give them a review. Give them an unbiased, fair review. Give them a chance then to give you feedback as to how they think they're performing in their job, and some feedback on how they think from their perspective things are going within the business. So they need to know how they're performing, and you need to know how they're doing. It's communication, but it's got to be fair and unbiased. So every employee gets the same treatment, right? No favoritism. So if you have one employee getting an evaluation, everybody's getting an evaluation. Doesn't mean they're getting the exact same evaluation. It should be tailored toward the position. But don't let one employee or two employees receive an evaluation and then leave out some others, because that's not fair. It's got to be fair and unbiased. Okay, that's number 7. Number 8, review your sales and marketing plan and update it for 2021. A couple episodes I was talking with sales guru, Mr. Rob Smith, expert in the field. Hopefully you heard that episode. He was talking about how sales, they're changing, right? They changed with COVID. They're going to be different probably from now on, going forward. And what he was saying was we have to get comfortable with a different approach to sales. It's virtual, right? Zoom meetings all over the place. You can't just go, knocking on people's doors and expect them to receive you. It's not going to happen. So you got to get comfortable with that different approach to selling. So make sure that when you're looking at your sales plan, you're including a virtual approach. And how are you going to do that? You need a plan for it. What else am I talking about when I talk about marketing and sales? Well, this is a good time to do a comprehensive review of all the products or services that you're going to sell over the next year. Make sure you're starting out with the right pricing. We talked about that last time, market rates. And of course, we talked about break even. I used the example of there was a client that I was working with who had a price for a product based on market conditions. Basically, he wanted to have a more attractive price to the market than his competition. But he didn't cover his costs. So for every unit that was sold, the company was actually losing money. So you got to make sure that your product or service is priced appropriately, according to the market, and covering your costs with a good profit margin built in. Also, your digital marketing efforts. This is a time to review your website, your social media presence. That's something 10 years ago, it was there, but not like it is now. You have to be really on the top of your game with regard to your website and your social media presence, your funnel campaigns. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to get with a marketing person who can help you, because those are so important these days. And it's going to be even more important going forward. So make sure you've really included all those aspects of your marketing and sales plan for 2021. Number 9, customer relations. Do you have a customer resource management system, a CRM? Even if you just use an Excel spreadsheet, you've got to document and log all of those leads, prospects, active clients, former clients. You keep them on your list. Communicate with them and update it continually. But if you don't update it continually, this is the time to really address it. Make sure your CRM is up to date, and update it if you need to. And what I mean by that is upgrade it. So make sure the information that you have within your CRM is up to date. But if you have to upgrade your CRM, go and do it. This is the time. There are so many CRMs out there. I can tell you, I started with one, and it took me all day to figure out what I was doing. Now, I'm the first one to admit I'm not technically savvy, so, I was a little slow on the uptake there, but make sure that whatever CRM you're going to use, it's easy enough or understandable enough that you can use it. You'll be able to use it on a regular basis. Okay, number 10, processes and systems. Systems. That's what's going to make your life so much easier as a business owner or an organizational leader. If you have more systems in place, there'll be less chance for error, there'll be greater productivity, and you won't necessarily have the business running you. You'll be running the business. So what am I talking about there? Well, we got to have standard operating procedures for everything. When an order comes in, there's got to be a procedure for how you're going to place that order, how you're going to deliver the order, how you're going to bill, how you're going to receive the funds. There's got to be a system in place for everything. You just can't operate by happenstance. It's got to be very direct and intentional. And it should be consistent. It must be consistent. So make sure you have standard operating procedures. I also include in this is a risk management plan. So this is a good time to review your liability insurance. If you have errors and omissions insurance, now's a good time to review that too. You should be in contact with your insurance agent. In fact, I would suggest that your insurance agent should be contacting you. And if your insurance agent is not contacting you, I'd probably think about getting a different insurance agent because it's in their best interest to make sure that you're happy with what you have, your protection, your coverage to protect your business. It only takes one lawsuit and you could lose everything. I don't care if you're a manufacturing or service business. You got to have liability coverage. And I would suggest if you are an accountant, you probably already know, I'm sure, but you got to have errors and omissions. If you're a consultant, errors and omissions. Things happen. Things happen that are out of your control. Protect yourself. That's part of the risk management plan. I'm also going to include in this your information technology. Review all the apps and software that you have, the subscriptions that you have for all of your programs that you use. If you haven't used an app over the last year, well, you're probably not going to use it. Chances are you probably won't. And if you're paying a subscription for that app, get rid of it. Get rid of it. Save some money. This is the time to really look at all the apps that you use and whether it's for, there's tons of productivity apps, right? Email apps. There's an app for everything. Make sure that for the apps that you have, you use them. If you don't use them, get rid of them. Don't pay for them. And it's true with all of your software too. All the subscription that you have, whether on the social media, the LinkedIn and all the other apps that you might have to pay some subscription for. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, but I am saying that if you're going to pay for it, make sure you use it. And if you're not using it, it's time to get rid of it. So do a quick inventory of what you've got with regard to all of your apps and software and the subscriptions that you pay. Also, with regard to information technology, back up your files, okay? Make sure that you have all of your data, all of your documents backed up because, again, it takes only one situation and you could lose some really important files. And it's not that hard to back everything up. Now's the time to do it. You should be doing it regularly. I back up every month. I just, it's just routine. At the end of the month, I back up. Beginning of the month, I'm doing my own books. So it's just part of the process for me. It should be for you. But if you haven't backed up your files, make sure you do by the end of the year. It's a good time to do it. Number 11, the triple L. Now, I talked about the triple L before, lifelong learning. Well, I know it has to be intentional. Lifelong learning opportunities aren't just going to automatically appear. You've got to be intentional to grow. And what I mean by that is set a goal. So I have a goal for how many books I'm going to read over the next year. And I'm not talking about, mystery novels. I'm talking about books that are going to help you get smarter with your business and help you grow as a person. So have a goal for how many books you're going to read over the next year. They're going to help you improve as a person, personally and professionally. Also, set a goal for the number of seminars or if you want to take an online class, set a goal for that. Do what you can to achieve that goal. Again, if you haven't placed the goal or if you haven't put a goal in place for that, it's probably not going to happen. So lifelong learning, the triple L, make it intentional. Set a goal. Set a goal for the number of books you're going to read and set a goal for the number of classes or courses or whatever else you can add in to the triple L to improve yourself. And number 12, remember, it's not about us, right? As leaders, It's about everyone else. Serving others. My tagline, serve others, seek wisdom, achieve excellence. Serving others is so important. So number 12 is outreach. What impact are you and your business making on your community? What can you do in 2021 to improve your community? Be proactive. Get involved in charities. Get involved in networking groups. Meet as many people as you can to help your business and to make a positive impact on others. Again, this is not just going to happen automatically. It's going to happen because you're going to make it happen. You're going to do it with intention, and you're going to have a goal in mind that you're going to make a positive impact on others. Okay, that's the 12 for 21. Now, I absolutely believe that 2021 is going to be an awesome year. We made it this far in 2020. So I know 2021 is going to be an awesome year, but you have to make it awesome. Believe me, there are going to be challenges. There are going to be times when you're going to say, is it worth it? And I'm telling you, it is absolutely worth it. Without a question, it's worth it. And when you wake up every morning, you got to have a bounce in your step. You got to attack the day, not just embrace it. Not just get up in the morning and say, well, I hope I'm going to see sunshine and rainbows today. Because the world is not going to be like that, right? Every day. So you've got to attack the day with intention, bounce in your step, make things happen. Because if you don't, life is going to hit you right back, right? I think it was Rocky that said, hopefully I'm going to get this right, it's not whether you can take a hit or not, because life will hit you, but it's how quickly you bounce back after getting hit. So what I'm saying is 2021 is going to be awesome, but we got to make it awesome. Okay. So before I wrap up for today, I want to ask you to do 4 things right away, before the end of the year. And if you can't do it by the end of the year, certainly by the mid part of January. 4 things. Number 1, be thankful. Be thankful for all that you have. If you have a roof over your head, be thankful. If you have food on the table, be thankful. If you have family, be thankful for your family, friends, colleagues, acquaintances. There are so many people in this world that don't have much at all. They may not even have a roof over their head. They might be scrounging for their next meal. Believe me, we have so much to be thankful for. So take a pause and give thanks. Number 2, reach out to somebody you haven't connected with in a long time. Or reach out to somebody who you've wanted to connect with but haven't had the chance. Connect with that person. And wish them well. Tell them Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays or Happy New Year. Something that you know will have a positive impact on them. You would be surprised how much that's going to mean to that person. Try it. It's going to be a great feeling for them and for you. Okay, number 3, plan for 2021. I've said this repeatedly now. 2021 is going to be awesome, but you got to plan for it. I gave you the 12 essential tasks for 2021. Address those tasks and plan for a great year. You can do it. It's going to be awesome. I know it. And last, celebrate. Celebrate what you've accomplished. Now, it's been a tough year. Sales were probably not at record levels. Chances are you've had a little pullback. We all have. It's impossible to not have something not meet expectation during this past year. But the fact that you're you've made it to the end of the year and are planning for 2021, that is cause for celebration, friends. Celebrate, celebrate. Okay, what a great episode, and what a great end to this crazy year. This is my 16th episode of the Forensic Financialist, and I would be completely remiss if I did not thank all of the people that have listened, subscribed, and provided a review. And I don't want to jinx it, but the reviews have been really, really positive. And I want you to know that I couldn't be more grateful. I love doing this. I hope you're getting some value out of it. I said my objective a long time ago when I started, episode 1, was to provide at least one nugget of useful information and for you to get a little inspired each time. I hope that I've achieved those goals. I love doing this podcast. I hope I can keep going with it. And I just wanted to thank you. Thank you for taking an interest. That's a wrap for today. As always, I'm grateful that you listened. And I hope today was a great day for you. And make tomorrow even better. Peace, everyone.
You've been listening to The Forensic Financialist, where we simplify business and leadership challenges and choose the road that leads to wisdom and excellence. To learn more about Jeff, visit his website at understandablesolutions.com or email Jeff at jeff@understandablesolutions.com. Mentioning this podcast will get you a complimentary discovery session with Jeff. Until next time.